Militarily Speaking, Season 2, Episode 8, Armed Forces Mutual.
This episode, we talk with Sarah Roeder with Armed Forces Mutual.
Welcome to Militarily Speaking, brought to you by Armed Forces Bank. This is Tom McLean. And Jodi Vickery, I'm the retail exec for Armed Forces Bank. And Jodi, we all love what she does for our company. She's the Chief Digital Officer. Do you have a Chief Digital Officer at Armed Forces Mutual?
We do. Mm-hmm.
What does that person do?
She runs all of our social media in a brilliant way.
I do not do any of that.
I'm looking at Jodi's job description right now, and
that's not even in all other duties as assigned right now.
That actually
kind of a big category.
That falls under marketing at our company.
Yeah, it's for the best that it falls under marketing.
She is a part of our marketing team. Awesome. That's where that falls. Yeah,
connect the dots.
Connect the dots. Yeah.
Well, welcome to our show. We are excited to have our audience listening and learning all about our guest, Sarah Roeder. I do, Sarah, want to take just a second and share a little bit about you with our audience, and then they'll learn all sorts of things about you and your organization as we go.
Should we fact check the bio?
Definitely.
I don't
should definitely do that.
Well, hopefully you didn't make it up.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I put words in there.
I wouldn't put it past you, but hopefully this is all in fact true statements, Sarah. Oh my goodness. Sarah is the Director of Partnerships and Member Engagement at Armed Forces Mutual, where she leads the member benefits team and develops partnerships with nonprofit military-focused organizations. A dedicated advocate for the military community, she's held several roles with Armed Forces Mutual, including Senior Veterans Affairs Coordinator, Spouse Link Ambassador, and Relationship Manager with Armed Forces Mutual Wealth Management and Trust. That's a mouthful. She holds the Certified Financial Education Instructor designation through the National Financial Educators Council. She's a proud military spouse. Thank you for that. I know what that road looks like. And an Auburn University graduate. I think we're supposed to say War Eagle or...
War Eagle.
No, we're supposed to say Roll Tide.
That's
is that the wrong one?
That's the Iron Bowl.
I'm kidding.
That's the Iron Bowl. So no, we're supposed to say War Eagle and probably make a noise.
Sarah told me a month or so ago that she's a little confused because she's got a Tennessee blood in her too, right? So from an SEC perspective, how do you live with yourself?
Just one day at a time, really.
Right. We got Rocky Top. And when she's not doing all of that, she likes to be outside with her family.
I do, very much so.
We're on podcast with Tom.
Do you have any hobbies?
I do have some hobbies. I play a couple instruments, and that's
Which ones?
You should guess.
Yeah, guess what instrument?
Let me guess. In what section of the musical
string or brass?
Strings.
You play the violin.
I do. That's amazing.
I was going to say,
luckily, Andy sent me a text this morning. She said, remember, she plays the violin.
Remember, she plays the violin. I do.
So what's the other? Let me take another guess. Jodi, what do you think?
I was going to say ukulele.
Ukulele.
Spell it.
Well, I don't play it, so can't spell it.
I don't have to spell it?
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
Exactly. No, I dabble around in the guitar as well.
Oh, my daughter just got a guitar.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite violinist?
Oh.
What's that woman's name? I know there was somebody on America's Got Talent that one, but what's the one that does a lot of concerts?
I don't.
You got to help me with that one.
I should be able to help you, but
let's edit this. So I'm supposed to know these answers.
We'll have to Google that later.
We will. All right.
Well, I would just say welcome, Sarah.
And I wouldn't.
I can tell you're going to be a great sport. You knew Tom ahead of time and you came on anyway. So there's that.
You didn't know me long enough.
Yeah. That might be a judgment flaw, but it's an honor to have you on our show. And thank you for being here today. I'd love to have you just start by telling our audience a little bit about Armed Forces Mutual if they're not familiar. And maybe we start there and then we can dive off into questions.
Yeah, that's great. So for those who might not know, Armed Forces Mutual is a nonprofit organization that has the longevity and trust of our military community. We were established in 1879 by the U.S. War Department because of the Battle of Little Bighorn. And so in a unique way, before the Battle of Little Bighorn, when somebody died on the battlefield, they quite literally would take their hat off, they would pass it around and send funds back to the home. And at the Battle of Little Bighorn, everybody perished. And so there was no one to send funds back to the families. And that's when the U.S. War Department stepped in and they created at the time Army Mutual Aid. As we are known today, though, as Armed Forces Mutual, because we protect all branches of service, But our mission is still the same. It's to help ensure the financial security and independence of the members of the American Armed Forces community. And we do that by providing insurance and other benefits.
That's a pretty interesting backstory.
Yeah.
What was the original name you said?
Army Mutual Aid.
And then you became our American Armed Forces Mutual Aid Association, right?
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
And now Armed Forces.
And now
And now
Mutual.
Armed Forces Mutual. Yeah. So we decided to do a little rebrand this year and just go by the heart of our name, Armed Forces Mutual.
I like the new name. I don't have to remember how many A's go in it now on both.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People would always take one off, usually on the back.
I
end.
always
On the
Yeah.
back. Yep. It's just forget it. They just got forgotten. So
But just again, for the record, I never did. I always got it right, Sarah.
noted. Duly noted.
So when we met, we did a little brief intro with some prep work with a couple other folks before the AMBA Summit. That was thoroughly enjoyed my time in Colorado. So hopefully you did as well, Sarah, for AMBA.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think the risk was, would you say yes to be a guest, right? Versus yes to the dress, Jodi. But she did say yeah. I feel like singing that song again,
Please
but I'm not going to sing it.
Please don't.
But let's talk more about you on a personal level from a career standpoint too, and how your passion has led you to what you're doing for AFM today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll always talk about myself just a little bit. But I have been with Armed Forces Mutual for 15 years, actually, as a military spouse. And my husband's a retired Army aviator. But I found my way to Armed Forces Mutual when stationed in the DC area. The commissary that I went to was Fort Myer. And like most military spouses, you move to a new place, you find your local commissary, right? Where are you going to go get your groceries, do all that. And there was a job fair. And I as a military spouse who had to leave a job and try and find a new job now at the new duty station, I went to a job fair and got linked up with Armed Forces Mutual. And I've been with them since. And they have supported my career as a military spouse as I have had to PCS and move across the country. They said, you're a great worker. We don't want to lose you, and there's no reason we should. And so they have fostered my career here at Armed Forces Mutual.
That's awesome. I love to hear when companies are
when they're flexible enough to retain good people.
Yeah,
too.
willing to think outside the box.
Where have you lived?
Yeah, so I was in California, North Carolina, DC, Memphis, North Carolina twice. And then now I am here in Brentwood, Tennessee, right outside of Clarksville. Right outside.
Which is different than Brentwood, California, we established.
Which is different.
Which is different.
I told one of our long-term AFB associates yesterday that we were going to talk today, Sarah, and she says, when I was a teenager or even younger, she was stuffing envelopes for AFMA.
Oh my
way
God.
back when, because she now runs our Fort Myer Armed Forces Bank location.
Yeah.
You might have seen her at the commissary one day. You never know.
Probably.
If we could only figure that out. No, kidding.
I think we can.
We probably could, yes.
With AI?
We should spend the next hour doing just that. Oh my gosh.
I'm still trying to find a violinist. All right.
That's still bothering you?
It is.
I love
I
that.
need closure.
I hope you don't remember. And I hope you're up at night tonight thinking about it.
It's a real healthy relationship there.
Thank you for being with us today, Sarah.
It is. You know him. You know what I'm dealing with here.
I
do. I want to jump right into actual meat on the bone stuff here.
Yeah.
I want to understand. I want to talk about retirement planning and some of how AFM. Is it AFM? I used to say AFMA. Can I say AFM or do we say AFM?
Well, we say Armed Forces Mutual, actually.
Armed Forces Mutual.
Say the whole thing.
I will say it all out. How should our audience think about retirement planning? And I think more importantly, we have a lot of new recruits that come to our bank. When they're just getting started in that journey, how should they be thinking about it at that point in time, long-term savings, when that may be the most furthest thing from their mind?
Yeah, well, I think, so a couple of things there, right? When you talk about retirement planning, a lot of times people glaze over, they get nervous, right? What do we do? The really important thing about retirement planning or anything like that is setting yourself up at an early age. And so when you talk about those newly enlisted service members, that's the audience that I love to talk to. That's the audience I want to talk to, because it's really hard to plan for your retirement if you're only 10 years away from your retirement goal, right? And so it's talking to the person who might be 18 to 25 to say, hey, it's imperative that you pay yourself first, as hard as that might be. And our young service members actually have a really great opportunity to do that in the TSP. The environment they're coming into now says, hey, we're going to give you free money. If you just invest a little bit in yourself, we're going to give you free money because you're doing it. And who doesn't love free money? But that's where the conversation starts, right? In retirement planning. It's a lot harder to have a conversation with someone who is leaving the military at maybe 42 or 45 years old who says, how do I retire when I'm 65? That's a hard conversation if they haven't done anything until then. So it's the newly enlisted service members that have the greatest opportunity for setting themselves up for success.
I feel kind of the same way when we talk about the credit side of the world too, which is where I've spent a lot of my career. That person that basically, if I'm going to talk to somebody about their credit, if their credit report is 100% empty, that's my favorite person to talk to, because we can have it's clean, it's pristine, let's not screw it up, let's make good choices, because it's so hard to recover or to plan late in the game for retirement, as you said.
It just is. It just really is. It's one of those, right? It's like at some point the math doesn't math, right? It's like you just can't catch up.
And math's hard anyway, so.
Yeah.
But the disciplines probably start when you're at the recruit age, right?
Or even before.
But how do they get into the mindset of saying, in about 45 years, I'm going to need X? And until you give them the tools and the reasons, or show pictorials about, is that a word?
No.
About
pictorial is the word.
Oh, yeah.
Pictorial is not a word.
Okay. But when you visually show what it could look like for them if they do X, or if they pay themselves first, to your point, we do Veteran Saves Week, which is coming up, used to be Military Saves, which helps a certain audience. But in general, the savings mantra and the mindset needs to be there probably at a young age. It probably needs to be in schools. It needs to be in the households. It needs to be something that's praised, and not that we have to give people certifications or give people awards or setting accomplishments or gamify things, but saving, even if it's $1, even if it's a roundup, even if it's
get started,
just a discipline.
It's a discipline. And it's something unique too. When we talk about people who are in the military, is they're incredibly disciplined, right? In order to be in the military, you have to have a level of discipline that most other people don't typically have. And so it's not that they're not capable of doing it. They have the discipline. A lot of times it's just putting the right tools or the right mindset around that discipline, and then they can succeed in really great ways.
When people go to the Armed Forces Mutual website, I slip into AFMA mode.
It's okay.
So, but the website still is www.aafmaa.com. Is that still correct today?
It is. You can also you can Google search Armed Forces Mutual and it will pull you to the same website. So you could type in armedforcesmutual.com and it will still pull you to the same site.
Okay. So when people go there, what should they expect? What are the resources? What's the support? Where would you direct our audience to go sort of hunt and peck out there?
Yeah. Well, we try and eliminate, right, the hunting and the pecking, because one of the important things when you talk about resources is trusted resources, especially surrounding finances, and especially with a younger audience. And so knowing that Armed Forces Mutual is a trusted resource and will lead you to other trusted resources is really important. And so this year, something that I'm very excited about was we actually launched our financial readiness page. So an entire page dedicated to, no matter what place in your military career you are involved in, whether you are a veteran, you're an active duty, surviving spouse, or just a military spouse, there's a place for you to go that says, what are the financial things that I really need to know about right now? And that's on our financial readiness page. And what I really love about this page is if you're on a cell phone or you're on your laptop or something, you scroll to the very bottom, there's a budgeting worksheet. And it's awesome. It's interactive and it doesn't take a lot, right? It's a really helpful tool and resource to be able to start people to change that kind of mental model about finances. It's really hard to try and keep all the numbers in your head. And so we're talking about retirement planning earlier, and we're talking about younger service members. And the first thing you have to do is take all those numbers from inside your head and you have to put them down on a piece of paper, right? You have to put them somewhere so you can see them. And I really like our budgeting worksheet for that. So those are some of our resources right now.
Yeah. And I think those budgeting worksheets are always helpful because you also forget to budget. You forget things.
Yeah.
And just like
That's just
regular.
If it's utilities or insurance.
If you're
or
just trying to off the top
yeah.
of your head. Yeah.
Yeah.
So other than the things on the website, which I'm out there now, because I also wanted to confirm the website address and make sure I didn't mess that up. What other support and programs do you provide in the areas of financial planning?
Yeah, so we have our wealth management and trust, which I used to be a relationship manager there. They have certified financial planners that can sit down and say, let's actually build out a plan. Let's look at everything and say, how do you want to accomplish your goals? That is a wonderful part of being a part of Armed Forces Mutual. But with that too is part of my role as I lead a group of subject matter experts. They're our member benefits team. And they go into various places like the TAP classes or Soldier for Life classes or into military spouse groups. And they will teach financial education classes and programming to say, let's go through kind of where you are now and where you want to get to. And that's part of our outreach as an organization.
Do you post events on your calendar, on your website for people to sign up? Because I have to believe a lot of them are virtual, right?
Yes. Yeah, a lot of them are. And we do that through social media, through that digital coordinator.
Chief digital officer.
Digital officer.
What an important role a chief digital officer is. Yeah.
Making it happen.
Every day.
Go back to the DoD, the financial education, the readiness stuff, right? And we're in a case, there are banks out there that aren't in wealth management, aren't in insurance, aren't doing investments for people, aren't part of that, maybe the graduate level, if you will, of financial planning for people too is, and maybe I'll throw you for a curveball here a little bit too, Sarah, is how do people know what you offer and what your mission is? And maybe that's more of the awareness side of the house, but also when in that journey, do they reach out to you when they've transitioned to civilian life? Do they come to you when we talked about earlier in their life? Do they come to you when they're PCSing? Do they come to you when they have a life event? I mean, what do you normally see in your world along that journey?
Yeah. So, I mean, the short answer is we see it all, but we see a lot of the transition space. So service members come across, which is a life event. Transitioning from the military is a life event. That's usually life events are when people take pause and they say, oh gosh, what's happening with my finances? So in that transition space, we see a lot of service members come to us because they all of a sudden realize that their SGLI is going to go away and that they still have a whole lot of life and protection that they need for their family. And so that's one avenue that we see and we help guide kind of through. The other avenue is our really younger service members. We have something called a career assistance program loan. It is a life insurance policy. So it's a long-term planning solution that fits a short-term need. It gives a $5,000 loan to the individual so that they can maybe help PCS buy uniforms is what we see a lot of times needing help to buy. And so that's another point in the military career that we see people reaching out to Armed Forces Mutual.
Makes sense. Yeah, the uniforms are not inexpensive.
I know.
They're not inexpensive.
No.
And I'm not sure at 17 or 18 or 19, you know that you might want to get insurance even to cover those items,
right?
Whether it's renter's insurance that has some umbrella coverage or what have you. But that's part of the education process. But it's pretty cheap.
That's just it.
But it's still a protection thing, and it's educating our young enlisted too.
Not only that, Thomas, you hit on something is that it's very inexpensive because the person's so young, right? So you talk about life insurance. It's like, well, how much am I going to pay for it? It's like, well, I don't know. How old are you and how healthy are you? Like, that's it. So
we'll let the actuaries figure that out.
Right, yeah, they figure that out. I don't know. But when you come at a very young age, you're very young and you're very healthy. And so it's incredibly inexpensive. And all of those service members that come to us when they're transitioning from the military, so many of them, when they're like, SGLI is going to go away, they're like, gosh, I really should have bought life insurance like 20 years ago. I'm like, yeah, well, you're not wrong. So, it would have been a lot more cost effective. So that's one of the programmings. Our career assistance program is a great way to try and capture that younger audience that needs a short-term solution, but hopefully through the long term, they realize, oh, wow, I've actually made a really great investment in myself and into my family to protect them.
I think that's right. So you've been with Armed Forces Mutual for quite a while. We noticed
15 years.
I know.
Yeah.
We noticed that you've had a couple of roles that seem to be, one was the Spouse Link Ambassador, one was the Senior Veteran Affairs Coordinator. Curious about those roles, but maybe more broadly, how does Armed Forces Mutual lean into that spouse audience and the veteran audience? We've talked a little bit about transition as people become veterans and take the uniform off, but what does the organization do specific to those two populations of folks inside that military community?
Yeah. So, as you said, I've been here for 15 years as a military spouse. And Armed Forces Mutual has the reason that my resume looks like I'm running from the law, right? It's because I'm a military spouse.
Well, you might be. We don't actually screen our guests.
We'll take that offline. Yeah. I just got
we won't tell anybody where you're at in Brentwood, California.
That's right. That's right. And so I've been able to do that with one organization because they value so much military spouses and also hiring, right, veterans. We, as an organization, are part of the Military Spouse Employment Partnership with the DoD. But as a broader sense, right, you've said I've worked as a Veterans Affairs Coordinator. That was my first job with Armed Forces Mutual. And that's where I got to work directly with our surviving spouses, right? I'm sitting there as a military spouse looking across the desk at somebody who is also a military spouse who has lost their service member. And I'm saying, hey, how can I do everything that I can to make this paperwork and this benefits and entitlements that you need as easy as possible?
Hey everyone, if you're looking for a little extra financial flexibility to take the family on a vacation, tackle that home renovation, or just get through the ups and downs of military life, we've got some great news for our military listeners.
Absolutely. Armed Forces Bank offers access loans that are perfect for handling life's unexpected expenses, consolidating debt, or even making that big purchase you've been thinking about. And with our fast approval process, you can get the funds you need quickly and easily without all the hassle.
At Armed Forces Bank, about 75% of our team is affiliated with the military, so we understand your unique needs. We've been supporting military families for over 100 years, and we're here to help you take control of your finances.
Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a reservist, we're committed to offering you flexible terms and competitive rates, making sure you get a loan that fits your life.
So if you're ready to take that next step, head over to afbank.com or visit a branch near you. Armed Forces Bank, serving those who serve.
Member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Origination fee applies. Direct deposit relationship required. Loan terms are based on loan amount.
And that stays with you. And so as I have progressed through my career at Armed Forces Mutual, I have always been a military spouse, but because of our mission of protecting is always making sure that we have programming to support military spouses, not just the veteran. Of course, we have programming for the service member and for the veteran, but it's a family unit a lot of times that's serving. And so we should make sure we're reaching that entire audience. A few years after I joined the association, they doubled down on it and said, hey, let's create something just for spouses, Spouse Link. Let's have ambassadors. Let's make sure that we're really talking to our spouses. And that's tremendous. And not a lot of organizations, I think, do that, right? They really say, well, I want to talk to the military spouse. As a military spouse, I know myself, I've gone in and I'm not talked to. My service members talk to, and I'm talked to through him instead of, hey, Sarah, let me ask you a question. What do you need for support? And so it's really wonderful to be with an organization that does that. I can proudly say my subject matter expert team, my member benefits team, I have 2 military spouses that are in Texas and Oklahoma, and they were in the DC area and they moved. And then I have 2 employees that are also children of a veteran, of a service member. And so it's really important, right, to support the community within.
Absolutely. I don't know if you know your percentage, but we always take pride in our 80% of the people that work for us at Armed Forces Bank have a military connection on the retail side of our house. So to walk in the footsteps and the boots is important to understand the lifestyle and be faced with those real life situations where you might have lost a spouse in combat, and how to address those with empathy and how to understand what it's like. And so I bet Armed Forces Mutual probably has a plethora of people that have.
We do. About half of our employees, of
That's
all of our
impressive.
employees, are military connected, either military spouse, a child of, or served themselves.
Yep, it makes a difference.
Yeah, it does.
What's your longest employed person? Who is employee number one, as they say?
Employed. We have somebody who is with the association who has been there for, I believe, 32 years.
Pretty impressive.
And several who have been there in the over 20 mark. It's not unusual.
As do we. Yeah. We've got one in the field that's been 44 years. So we're pretty proud of that.
Yeah, that's great.
That's unheard of nowadays.
You know.
Yeah.
That's like 20 years older than Jodi.
That's correct.
If we round way down.
You said math is hard, right?
Math, I'm fine with math being hard here as long as you err on the right side of it.
I did.
Yes. Good job, Tom.
You're welcome. Can I put closure to something?
Did you find your violinist?
So the violinist is
Who are you thinking of?
Is Lindsay Sterling.
Lindsay Sterling. Okay.
Could you write that down? Could I see your pen move?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
She's got a photographic memory.
Sorry.
I don't know who that is. And why is she kicking her leg in the air while she's playing the violin?
Maybe that's part of being a professional violinist. That's why Sarah just wants to stay under the radar.
Yeah, that's why I'm not a violinist.
I just play for the kids. So,
Do you play sheet music, or do you play like popular songs as a violinist?
No, I play
Taylor
sheet
Swift.
music. No, I just play sheet music. So,
like out of an elevator. It'd be kind of cool though.
Yeah.
Right? Be calming, soothing.
We'd have known we could have had her play the intro and the outro for the podcast.
Dale, can we make that happen? No? All right, send that later, Sarah.
And I'll play the ukulele.
This is a good transition into the next question about just life at Armed Forces Mutual.
Life.
And stories and things that you feel good at the end of that day, and you found some successes, or you turned someone's life in the right direction. But is there a story that stands out during your time as a spouse, but as working for the company as well?
Yeah. So there is. I feel like I encounter lots of stories daily with working with our younger service members. A lot of them will come and say, you helped me, your maybe career assistance program loan, your CAP loan helped me get out of a really bad debt situation that I didn't understand. You helped me get on the right track, feel better prepared, take a little stress off. And so those are stories that kind of daily make you just feel really great. But I have one story when I was a VA coordinator and I was a young military spouse, and I was living in the DC area, and I had a lieutenant colonel and his spouse come in, and they requested to sit down for a meeting and wanted to go over our survivor assistance planning. Something that people commonly did, just in preparation, estate planning type of things. They came in and he sat down and he looked at me and he said, I have 6 months to live. I have a very rare inoperable brain tumor. And they sat there very stoically, him and his wife, and they asked questions. And they had great questions, and we went over everything. And I assured them that we would make sure that she and their young children, were taken care of, and that we would make it as stress-free as possible for her, and what things that they could do ahead of time to prepare. Can you give us these documents, and can we make sure we have all of this ahead of time? And within that 6-month period, he passed away. And she called me and she said, you are the first person I've called. She said, the only people that know that he's passed away are you and me.
Oh, wow.
And I sat there and she said, so can you do everything we talked about? And I reassured her. And I, of course, said, I'm so sorry for your loss. But I said, we will make sure all of your benefits and all of the entitlements and all of the money and all of that paperwork will get done. It'll get done correctly. It'll be submitted in a timely manner, and you will have everything you need in order to continue living financially. Even so that your young children, when they get to college one day, they will have a VA benefit sitting there to help them. And we did that, right? And it was a moment, right, when someone tells you, you're the first person that came to my mind in this moment, that you realize I have a lot that I need to do, and I have a lot that I need to make sure happens. And that story stuck with me through all these years. But our survivor assistance team, I think, has very similar stories of people calling and saying, you're the first person I called, because it's so important that these things are done. It's how I'm going to financially live, how my children are going to live. And we take a lot of pride in what we do to make sure that we're taking just a little bit of stress away in a time that is incredibly stressful.
I appreciate you sharing that. That's a heavy responsibility, but I would say an honor to fill that role. And my next question for you was going to be, how do you measure the impact of the work that you do? But I think you kind of just answered that in a very human way. And I'm confident where that one story is, there are thousands of those stories. But when you step back outside of the stories, how do you personally think about the measure of the work that you do, or the organization? How do y'all think about that and talk about that?
Yeah, I think especially as an organization, because we are a nonprofit organization, is we always talk about serving our members first, right? And so I feel very prideful that I am with an organization that, if it's the right thing to do, but it might be harder or cost more money or whatever it is, we just do it because it's the right thing to do for this military community, for our members. And talk about above and beyond, it's when you say you have kind of a heavy that you are trying to alleviate for somebody and take that on, it's really important to do that. And so that's kind of, as an organization, we just always look as members first, right? And ultimately, who are we protecting, right, in that? So, personally, the idea or the being able to know that I've helped somebody, whether it's someone who's really young who says, hey, I didn't realize that I had this credit card and I didn't realize that I was paying interest. I didn't realize what interest was, and I didn't understand it. And now I do. And now I can go forward in the rest of my life knowing that feels really great. And, in the same breath as helping somebody in one of their saddest times and darkest times, maybe, and saying, hey, I can be a little bit of a light, I can be a little bit of a help to you, is a really great feeling.
Yeah, just a healthy dose of daily perspective.
Yeah,
for sure, right?
For sure. Yeah.
You know how I always say, like, you're the perfect person for the perfect job?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't always say that.
Do people say that to you a lot?
They do.
Okay.
Because if you love
I need to meet these people.
If you love what you do, Jodi, you never work a day in your life.
I need to meet these people, Tom.
But it really does sound like you found a home. And I think the company appreciates you.
Oh,
you value what you do, and the people with whom you interact probably appreciate all the great work you do. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I've got a team of people. I feel like everybody I interact with at Armed Forces Mutual is like that. They truly love what they do, and they truly love helping this military community.
Sarah, I think with the name itself, just like we have that responsibility as Armed Forces Bank, just like you would too, you have to, it's almost like an unwritten rule that you're going to be trusted and you're an advisor and you give good guidance to people, and they need that. I mean, we're the financial readiness people. Yeah. We're getting ready from a DoD readiness standpoint, but we have to be there for them. And if we don't deliver on that promise that we all signed up to do this, then that's on us for not doing it. So it's almost a personal responsibility and a brand responsibility and a reputation responsibility to deliver.
And very much so is. And that's conversations that happen here at Armed Forces Mutual, is that we are stewards in this, right? Yeah. We have to be good stewards in what we are doing. And that's really important.
I'm going to go to another heavy topic, right? Technology. As Chief Digital Officer.
Might be a heavier topic for you than others.
Another editable moment.
Yes.
But, for us, It's ever changing. We can't keep up with the technology. We can't keep up with cybersecurity issues, risk, fraud, AI, RPA. I throw all these funny acronyms at you, but there's just a lot going on, and it goes back to our responsibility to protect our service members and families and veterans. And so, are you taking a defensive posture on some of the things when it comes to cybersecurity issues?
Yeah.
And on the flip side of that, are your financial services and the way you deliver relationship building to people, is it changing as a result of any technological changes in the landscape, the way people want to do business with financial services providers? That's a lot to absorb. Sarah, take your time.
That is. So the last thing that you said is kind of the first thing I'll address, is that the way in which people are wanting to interact with financial institutions is really changing. It is more technology based, right? It's not so much pick up the phone and ask a question or even send an email. I want to have self-service. It's chat.
Self-service.
It's self-service. And so something at Armed Forces Mutual we've really leaned into is that self-service aspect. All of our members, we have a secure member center where the digital vault for every member is held, where all these self-service things can be. Before, right? If you needed a copy of your DD-214, you either had to go find it in your drawer, or maybe you gave it to us to keep securely. And now it's all digital. It's there securely, obviously. I won't even pretend to understand the deep technology of our security systems, but
I'll help you with that.
Yeah. You help me with that. So the self-service is a really big thing that we've seen change, and that we are trying to meet that need of, right, our younger, typically, audience, but also still making sure that we aren't leaving our older population behind as well. You still want to pick up the phone, you want to send an email. We, of course, are still there. And you can get through to a real live person, which is something that's important to us too. So that's kind of one aspect in technology. The other aspect is, and we're really excited, is because as technology changes, we are revamping and going to launch a new website.
Oh, nice.
It's going to be interactive. And with that, we are bringing in a learning management system, a financial learning management system. So again, people can have more self-service and educate themselves and feel like they can do that in their own path and way. And so I am so excited about our new website, as well as the learning management system, where people can, I'm a mom, and by the end of the day, right, it's like, where do I take care of, most of my business is in bed on my phone, right? And I'm like, okay, what do I got to look for and do and read and things like that? And now we'll be able to give that to people there and say, hey, you can go in and actually navigate through and see if this is your income and this is your debt, what are some tools and ways to help you. And so that's all coming with our new website. And so that's just part of growing with technology, is being more interactive, bringing a learning management system on board, and creating more self-service for our members.
When you've been around, since 1897, we've been around since 1907. It
Not
is
her
easy
personally, her organization.
It's easy to be stuck in Cadillac mode, right? But it sounds like you are keeping up with technology and being relevant. So if you're not growing, you're dying. Is that right?
Yeah,
that's right.
Backwards at first.
And one of those things too is we even see with issuing life insurance policies, technology has changed leaps and bounds that you can almost get issued immediately now for life insurance policy. They're jet issue policies. It's easy. All the stuff in the background happens. I don't know what that is, but and so I know a little bit, but the technology has changed so much that it's making it easier, right, for people to be able to make sure their families are protected and self-service in that.
Is jet issue a new term, or am I just losing it? Do you know what jet issue is? Is it new?
It's a bit new. It's a bit new. A jet issue policy is one in which there's less than a 24-hour turnaround from the time. And those are really healthy individuals. They can apply, and a lot of things in the background happen, and then a policy can be issued.
Love it. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
That's what we say.
There you go. Well, a new website is a lot of work, but it sounds like there's going to be a lot of benefit coming out of that. Yeah. So
yeah, very exciting.
Want to play a game?
I do, but normally you interject some random thing. So I was taking a breath and making sure that you didn't have
I'll do
any,
something random.
any
Ready?
random Tom thoughts.
Hey, Sarah,
Yeah.
wish me a happy anniversary today.
Oh, Tom, happy anniversary.
Thank you. This episode is dedicated to my wife, Paige, of 31 years today. However, she doesn't listen to the podcasts, so she'll never know.
Oh.
But you should feel good about that. And then she'll hear it like a few weeks from now, so she'll think you were late, which is awesome.
No, this will be published October of 26, so we'll be good. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Tom, you can't even help yourself out. But yes, we can play a game. So we're going to test all the boundaries of our random facts knowledge.
Lindsay Sterling.
I have many. Can I use Google? Can I call a friend? Phone a friend?
You're going to need it for this question.
Yeah. So we have 2 trivia questions today. The first part is actually a 2-part question. So it's really 3 questions, I suppose. But
you love these, don't you?
You can answer. And it would be super weird if you knew the answer to this. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that. So this is about a university that a guest on her prior podcast attended. And the university that he attended was Bowie State University. I don't know if you're familiar. I am pronouncing it right because we discussed it at length.
No.
It's spelled Bowie. But the question was a 2-parter because Tom likes those complicated 2-part questions. It was, what was the motto and what was the mascot? So based on the fact that you have never heard of Bowie State University, would you like to wager a guess, at least to the mascot?
It's kind of a standard mascot across the college lines, right?
Yeah. Any shot at the motto?
I
would just go with no. Yeah.
It rhymes.
So it doesn't even rhyme because it's multi-word.
But it is alliteration, right?
So there's a lot of B's here. So hold tight. The motto for Bowie State University is, your bold belongs to those who are Bowie bold. And their mascot is the bulldog. If you're in our audience and you are excellent at Google and you answered that to the 2-part question after our last podcast, watch for your name to be selected as the lucky winner for $50 for you and $50 to a charity of your choice. This next question, you can't answer. You like thumbs up if you know it, but we're going to tee this one up for our audience next time. This is kind of sports trivia, kind of a little bit
of Auburn Tiger
Auburn
stuff.
Tiger, War Eagle.
SEC, you know.
So it's a 2-part question because Tom's a fan of making things harder than they need to be.
Next one's a 4-part. Yeah.
And it's about Auburn University, which we know that's where you graduated from. And this actually surprises me a little bit, but I'm not going to say the answer. How many national championships has the Auburn Tigers, go War Eagle football team
Roll Tide
won? Yeah. And in what year was their most recent one?
No.
Oh, she thumbs up.
You know the answer to both?
Okay, so after we stop recording, you can tell us.
Yeah.
But if you're in our audience and you know that and you're a big War Eagle fan.
Confidently as Sarah.
Or if you're one of the teams that got beat in one of those victories and so you're bitter.
Still angry.
Yeah. When this podcast drops, drop your best answer, hopefully a right one, to how many national championships has the Auburn Tigers football team won and what year was their most recent one? And if you're right and you're selected, you too will win $50 for yourself and $50 for a charity of your choice. That's all I got.
Nice job, Sarah. If you enjoyed today's episode as much as I think this is one of Jodi's favorite episodes of all time, go out to afbank.com and subscribe to the show, because she's in such a great mood. Also, make sure to rate us, leave us a comment on your favorite podcast platform, such as Apple Podcasts. Sarah, we're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, we're on like Burber. Is it Burberry?
I think it's Blueberry.
Is it?
That's pretty impressive that I knew that.
Says she, pontificating from her chief digital officer spot.
Yes, yeah, I'm supposed to know things like that.
You're supposed to know
I'm supposed to know it, not to be confused with Burberry.
But they don't spell it the same way as Blueberry, right?
I have no idea.
Dale? Okay.
It's different per Dale.
We each get a point.
Yeah.
Sarah, excellent job today.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. It was a joy to be here, and I really appreciate you bringing me on and giving me the time to talk a little bit about Armed Forces Mutual.
You're welcome. Thanks for doing such a wonderful job and imparting such great wisdom to our audience today.
Most definitely.
Well done.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Copyright Armed Forces Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All non-Armed Forces Bank owned apps, websites, company names, and product names are trademarks or registered trademarks of their respective owners. Their mention does not imply any affiliation with or endorsement by Armed Forces Bank of them or their products and services. They are merely used as examples of the many available apps, companies, and websites that offer similar services. Before using any app or website, you should carefully review the terms of use, data collection, and privacy policy. Apps may have an initial cost or in-application purchase features. This information is general in nature and is not intended to be legal, tax, or financial advice. Although Armed Forces Bank believes this information to be accurate, it cannot ensure that it could change. Statements or opinions of individuals referenced herein are their own, not Armed Forces Bank. Consult an appropriate professional concerning your specific situation and respective governing bodies for applicable laws, such as IRS.gov for current tax law. Armed Forces Bank, the Armed Forces Bank logo, and the Militarily Speaking logo are registered trademarks of Armed Forces Bank.